Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ResearchRoadshow.com. Today is the 18th day of May 2023, and I'm your host, John Wilkins. This will prove to be one of the most important broadcasts that I've ever personally participated in, the first of three dealing with the Plainview, Texas situation. And while we're waiting for Andy Dybala to give us the live stream from the event, from the rally there in Plainview, I'm going to play a few clips of Amber Connor and Carol McIntosh talking about this on the last episode of Research Roadshow. Let me display that for a second. You'll have to bear with because I don't have my eyeglasses and it's a little hard to navigate without them. So please hold tight. But basically, a 6-year-old girl was the victim of sexual assault, 6 years old. And what's really disturbing about this is that the teachers knew about it for 5 or 6 days before telling any of the parents. And even more disturbing is how much Facebook and Twitter and everyone is obfuscating the various issues. Well, there's Andy now. Let's bring him in. Hey, Andy, how you doing? Good to see you.
John Wilkins, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Where are you, Mr. Dybala?
I am here in Plainview, Texas at the Hidden in Plainview rally. I saw you breaking down the event right before you added me here. But yeah, a 6-year-old girl was unfortunately sexually assaulted by some of her classmates, and there was an ensuing cover-up by the superintendent and some other city government officials. They were trying to keep it under wraps and handle it in-house and keep it hush-hush. And there was a victim here, and the victim's voices need to be heard. That is why this We Will Not Be Silenced group. There's 50 state chapters. Sorry, I'm trying to get it here on the screen, of We Will Not Be Silenced. They put it upon themselves to kind of hold this rally here in Plainview, Texas, in support of this child who was assaulted. And it's unfortunate because we send our children to school to learn and get educated and better themselves. And that is not the case here in Plainview. And the sexual assault is not only an issue, but the ensuing cover up by the city officials is like the main problem we have here. And there's as you can see here, we got, I don't know if you can see. Sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera while my sign is flapping around. But there's probably about like 50 cops here. They got cops all over the roofs, the rooftops around all the buildings. It's heavily secured. This is a peaceful rally. There's supposed to be no violence, and we're just here to let our voices be heard. And we want our children to be protected when they go to school in the future. And we know with the ongoing LGBTQ plus agenda in our schools, just the weird things they're starting to program our kids with. It's like, is it time for homeschooling to be more dominant here in the United States? I think we need to start asking that question a little bit more, if these problems are going to continue happening in our school. But as you can see here, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it level, but the line is starting to form outside the building. There's probably about like 40 people here so far. The cars keep coming, and there's a lot of support. There's people here from all around the country we've seen so far, and it's a good thing to see.
Now, are you at the Plainview School District grounds right now?
We are at the education center. I'm not sure exactly how they go to school here. I don't see any actual like old school. It's kind of like an old like shopping center almost that they turned into a school. They got like the education center down here, the boardroom, the technology center. So it's like a outdoor mall school type situation, but nevertheless, this is where the rally is being held, and we have a lot of passionate American citizens here that want to support the 6-year-old girl that was unfortunately assaulted.
Well, one of the things that I saw on Twitter yesterday, and this was a guy that had more than 150,000 subscribers. He said that his version was that there was no actual touching. It was just, I'll show you mine if you show me yours, that kind of thing. And the story, the narratives are being completely distorted.
That is like why the people are here, is because the parents weren't contacted in proper due time. Like they got a hold of like the superintendent before the parents were like even told about what was going on, and then the government officials are trying to say that they did actually get a hold of the parents and stuff, and that's the cousin of the girl that was assaulted. She's actually been a dominant voice saying that there were some wrongdoings and they weren't contacted, and there was kind of a cover up at hand. And if it wasn't for her brave voice, I don't know if we would actually be in this situation, because it's nice to be validated. You're on camera, by the way.
Is it true that the superintendent was not fired, but just relocated to a different district?
I do not 100% know about that. I know before he was the superintendent here in Plainview, he had some issues in some other school districts, and he was kind of like moved around to, I don't know if it was to cover some stuff up, but they were definitely moving him around anytime some like problems came up on the scene.
Well, now that's a sign that something is definitely systemically wrong when a guy like that gets moved from school district to school district and never lands in jail, or at least, with a good reprimand.
You live streaming right now?
I sure am.
Oh, you are? I was going to see if you wanted to be on my live stream, but if you're doing a live stream.
That's okay. What's up?
Well, let me... YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, we got Apple, Spotify,
How's it going?
Podcasts. We're in Neighborhood News Studio. This is Citizens Research Roadshow is our host. This is the leader of... No, you're not the leader. I just saw you speak.
So you may see many people speak from this organization, this movement, but it's a faceless movement. It takes many faces. It takes a whole country to make this happen. Keeping every one of you leading in your own ways with your own blood, sweat, and tears, and I surely appreciate it.
Well, you made a very passionate speech when I was walking up.
Father and a husband, man.
Yeah, and you were speaking about homeschooling your kids here with our issues going on in the school. Children.
Man. Because for 3 years, it is hard, and it makes you change your entire life around. So it's not everyone's choice to be able to do that. But people should also be able to have a safe choice to put their kids in schools.
I agree. And just to let the audience know, we will not be silence. It's www.mbs.com.
50 state chapters right now. It's built up in the last 11 days, and our inbox is overpouring right now with cases. So as we move these out and start, like, obviously assembling in different states, we will do the same approach at every school board, every school district. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 3 months back to school. It's time to make this change now.
So we got some concerned citizens that are actually taking it upon themselves and taking us. It's what we need more of in America, and we appreciate gentlemen like this taking matters into their own hands.
Just a concerned American citizen, much like you. I appreciate you.
It's a beautiful world.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for protecting. All right, John. On in here. Did you get that, Mr. Wilkins? Sorry, I can't hear you. Hello there? I think I'm having some issues here. John, can you hear me? Do you have your headphone in? Can you hear? Am I muted? He can hear me, but I can't hear him. Okay. All right. Oh, you're muted, John. I see it on your screen. You're the one that's muted.
Oh, I've never done that. Never done that before.
There's a first time for everything, Mr. Wilkins. Now,
did you get the gentleman's last name?
I did not. I don't think he wanted to say his full name on camera there.
I get it.
But this, I'm not sure, Mr. Wilkins. I'll let you kind of decide. I didn't know this thing was indoors, and we've done a lot of work on some slaughter pens here.
Yeah.
Should I actually go into this thing?
As long as you don't see any Lido scanners.
No Bob Malone hanging around the corner. But yeah, I think they are starting to file in here. I'm not sure if they're doing any pat downs or anything, but there are about 10 police officers outside. There's some on the roof. But it is a good thing to see all these people coming from around the country and Texas in support of this case. And it's also great to hear that there's 50 state chapters of this We Will Not Be Silenced that's starting to form, that's going to get on our school systems. You know, that's something that Aaron Adler was actually a big advocate of. He was like, you got to represent your local community. If you're not out doing your part locally, then, you know, you can kind of quit your bitching on the line. And he actually took it upon himself. He would go and he would sign up for the school board, and he would sign up for the park board. And it was really admirable. And after seeing events like this where people are coming out, I'm starting to reconsider not signing up for some of those things myself, and I might be doing so here in the future to make my imprint on the local community. You know, if you can make a difference on your school board, if you can make a difference on your park board, or whatever board is in your community, then sign up and give it a shot. You never know the difference you can make without trying.
Yeah, I often use the example of my neighbor back in Italy. She's 70 years old. She's 5'4", and you know she doesn't have a very strong character. But when she heard about certain things happening in her neighborhood, she started to speak up with a trembling but you know determined voice, and she gained several hundred followers, you know, just within our small neighborhood. People will get behind you if you're determined, if you stand up for something. That's the problem. Most people don't stand up for anything. If you do stand up for something, there will be people that come up and support you.
hmm It's the haters, it's the detractors that scare us, and that's why a lot of us just sit on our hands and we don't speak up. And you're right. You got to realize that with those haters and the detractors, there's going to be a lot of support as well. And that's something I've actually learned with neighborhood news, helping George and John O'Loughlin out, and a lot of these other citizen journalists from around the country. Like there's a lot of support out there. There's a lot of eyes that are watching, and if you got something to say that's halfway intelligent that can make a difference, then God damn it, I'll say it. Have a little backbone. Don't be a beta boy. You gotta have a little
Don't be a
alpha
beta
in
boy. Yeah, I should have a sign here. It says no beta boys.
No beta boys allowed.
Did you
So
hear about the? Is it true that the mother of the kid who held the iPad is in law enforcement?
yes, I have not actually 100% verified that, but I'm about like 95% sure that is true. I don't know what role she was exactly, but she definitely was in working in the offices of the police department. And
Mhm.
that's why you see, all these cops here, and you see cops on the roof. It's like this is what's kind of being implicated, and like it's not just like the superintendent and the sheriff that are responsible. It's everyone in the department that's sitting on their hands and not speaking up. As a
Right.
police officer, it's your job to protect the community. And if you hear little rumors, little swirls in the police department of shit going on, that's not right. We got to drop this like, oh, we got this police officer code where it's brother code of the brotherhood, and we don't rat on each other
Yeah,
and
you
blah
don't
blah
rat
blah.
on each
And
other.
it's like that's what they do in the hood. It's like that's what
Mhm.
you do in bad neighborhoods. Why is our police departments doing the same things? Why are we trying to protect people who aren't upholding the law and are doing illegal activities? And it's unfortunate. I think the rally is about to start here. I
And they probably
do
won't let you
believe.
film inside, right?
Are we allowed to film inside, sir? Do you know? No. Oh, he said yeah. Do I gotta get patted down or something? Give me a second here as I'm going in. No purses. And I will like to say that I do support the police and the police department. I just don't support covering up of illegal activities, and that goes for all levels of government and the intelligence departments. This is like the story of. I believe we're over here, aren't we? We're right here. Oh, we're staying. But this goes to all levels of government. This is pretty much what is happening from our local government all the way to the top. It's kind of hard to concentrate while while I'm doing a couple of things here, but um, there's a lot of covering up going on. You see it in the Biden regime right now. Pretty much everything they do, they just try to wash their hands of it right away and not be implicated in any of the crimes. And it seems to be working. We see the FBI Durham report come out, and
Right.
the whole Trump Russia collusion was a big cover up. We got the Hunter Biden laptop scandal where the New York Post comes out with it, and the FBI is like, no, it's fake, and then it turns out it's real. We got the whole Twitter file scandal going on. So it goes to all levels of government. We need to hold everyone accountable at this point, or else America's going to fall apart.
Yeah, I think it is starting to fall apart, and we have very limited time to pull it back together. I'm going to be taking a good look at the Twitter profiles of law enforcement officials and
Okay.
county and Texas state health, people responsible for protecting the citizenry, especially little kids. It's very curious how their Twitter profiles are being manipulated. Some
Give
are
me
getting
1
boosted,
second
some are
here.
not.
I got to go through the metal detector.
All right.
It's good how you first person ever getting film going through a metal detector.
So as I was saying, it's important for us to keep an eye on how the Twitter profiles are being manipulated. The Twitter profiles of people of a certain stature in the Texas educational business, in the law enforcement area, and in the people in charged with civic duty, people charged with what would you call it? Civic leaders. How civic leaders in that area of the country are responding to this situation, because I think, like European adoption consultants' case should have been, this case could become a trigger point, a little bit similar to the Rosa Parks situation 50 years ago. Well, it was almost 65 years ago. We need an event like this to kickstart, to get Americans out of their apathy and to take a really hard look at how the system actually works.
Sorry, Mr. Wilkins. I don't know if you stopped talking or you're breaking up.
No, I'm done.
I believe we're going to be starting here shortly. I am in the event center. Do you have any of those Amber Connor videos to play while we're
Yes.
waiting for the
Yes, I
event
will.
to start? I don't want to.
I'm gonna play those right now.
I don't want to be the center of attention while I'm standing here. I'm already too big of a goofball as is.
Okay, here we go with the first video.
Help people, the high level people are going to make all the decisions, which is the old world order, that version of it. We need to really sell the self-organizing collective.
So whenever
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking to other people I have noticed though,
Right.
and I don't look at it as good.
Sorry about that. Let's start it again.
You just wanted my beautiful face on full screen, John.
That's it.
That side has to win, because if it doesn't, all these bad things are going to happen.
Right.
And I don't look at it as good or bad happening. I look at it as not beneficial to most citizens all around the world. Okay. So I don't look at it as, I look at it as very beneficial for leaders and what you called help, the high level people. I think it's very beneficial for them.
Mm-hmm.
But for the low level people, it's not. Now we can all look in the mirror and say, excuse me, I'm part of the high level people. But are we? And what are we considered? And shouldn't, even if we are considered that, shouldn't we want to help the low level people? I mean, how do you even produce if most of the people at the top are just expecting the obedience of the people at the bottom? And so they have to do all this obfuscation, deception, layering, chaos, division in order to get them to walk in lockstep where they need them to go. I mean, I don't think it's beneficial for a particular state in the United States to be under a world government. I don't think it's beneficial for any one country. And then I don't think any leaders with getting a rally going in Texas. It's in Plainview, Texas. Let me tell you what's happening. It's really not good. There was a 6-year-old girl in class, and apparently the teacher and the aide were not paying attention. So a couple little boys pulled.
So this was Amber bringing this up on the show for the first
Right.
time originally?
Yeah, this is on Protecting the Nest.
As well. And they pulled her under the desk, and they make her perform.
I lost her sound. I don't know if that was just me or her.
Huge change she's taken care of by her grandmother and her aunt and cousin because her mother is at a desk working in a group with 3 boys and
I don't know
her.
how George does
They're
this.
6 years old as well. And they pull her under the desk and they make her perform a sexual act, and one of the kids recorded on an iPad. And somehow it gets loose, but they don't let the parents know for over a week. The girl is sitting there with them for quite a while. And I think it's up to 5 or 6 days before the school lets them know that there was an incident with an iPad, but they don't even specify what that
I'm sure
is.
get some pictures for
There's
Rachel.
been a huge change she's taken care of by her grandmother and her aunts and cousin because her mother is an addict, and so they stepped up, and that is like their child, like she's their baby. And she said her stomach was hurting, she was having nightmares, and they kept asking her what was wrong. And she had mentioned that there was a little boy who in the lunch line tapped her on the shoulder, and she turned around and he pulled it out and showed her. And the teacher got onto both of them, and the parent said, "Is there anything else?" And she said, "Well, in the classroom, she didn't specify." And then apparently it had gotten around the school that these kids had filmed what would be considered child porn. And somehow it had gotten around, so the parents went up to talk to the school. They wouldn't let them see the video. She was oral that she was made to give to the other 6-year-old boy while another one filmed it. It's not the kid's fault because they were teaching them. So it's not about getting on the kids, but they moved those 2 little boys to a different class. They didn't tell any of the other parents or anybody else. And then soon after, a couple other kids in a class started wetting the bed out of nowhere. So as the parents or the grandmother and the aunts are asking what's going on, they're freaking out in the school. They're being treated not very well. They're told they can't see the video. It's under investigation. And then there was a protest, and it was on TikTok, and there was only 1 view. And so someone that I follow on Twitter found it and said, "Oh my gosh, we've got to do something." So there's like 2 or 3 people in Texas, and then people around the area that are mentioning it, talking about it, bringing it up. But here's the really crazy thing. After digging, what was found out is that the mother of the boy who filmed it and who carries his dad's phone to school, who is known to have porn on it, she works in the law enforcement arena there. And there's people are looking for, there we go. And this is the superintendent who has moved from district to district with all kinds of money deceptions, cover-ups of all kinds of things children are doing. And he just gets like $200,000 to leave a district and move to somewhere else.
Let me go back to that last part for a second. Can you hear me, Andy?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can't see you though.
Okay. Well, I want to go back to this part for a little bit.
The superintendent.
Yeah, this is the part where 50 years ago, my grandparents and their neighbors and friends would not have put up with this crap. If that guy had not been arrested and, literally behind bars within a couple days of this news getting out, but my grandparents and their neighbors would have bypassed law enforcement and would have gone with a couple baseball bats and really had some crosswords with this guy. And somehow we got away. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's sometimes, the third world countries have it right sometimes. Just stone them in the street.
Yeah. You cannot. Yeah. How are the fathers? Have you talked to any fathers of the students there?
I have not so far. I have not done any type of communications in that manner whatsoever. I kind of just talked to like the rally event organizers, but I've been trying to. I haven't been able to actually figure that out yet. Who's who? I'm assuming a lot will be unveiled when they start talking here at any moment. It was supposed to start 20 minutes ago. But go ahead with the father of the kids.
Facebook, because I think that Facebook is largely responsible for obfuscating all the issues and making people, because you can't take, even if you get together with 6 other guys, strong guys, and you want to go and teach a lesson to somebody, you can't if you don't know who's doing what, and who are the bad guys. Everything is confused. I think that's what Carol brought up the other day. Total chaos seems to be their goal.
Mm-hmm. That, and that's kind of what's going on here. Is part of the confusion is they're not like telling the whole truth. They're hiding some of the facts, and that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of here. And it's an issue. Sometimes these schools have their own. They pretty much can police themselves. Sometimes they can handle things internally, and in doing so, you can kind of keep some things under wraps. And I think that's unfortunately part of the issue here in Plainview.
Right.
It should be starting here momentarily. It seems everyone's getting quiet, and
well, then I'll play my second clip while we're getting ready.
Do you have there's the actual report that the school released, and that's what they're like having like conflicts with the grandparents of the girl and the family of the girl are saying like some of that stuff's not true. Can you pull that up and read some of that on the screen?
Unfortunately, I can't. Do you know? Was it on Amber's Twitter or even your Twitter?
It was not on my Twitter. Amber emailed it to me, and I pulled it up on the show the other day. I don't know if she sent you some of those links as well.
Well, I can go and pull it up on your show.
I'll just pull up a Plainview. I think it was like Plainview, Texas case or something like that.
Right.
It's like one of the first articles that popped up. It's like the actual news report.
Okay, let me play this second clip of mine while I go look for that.
Okay.
Once this came out about this school, then out of the blue, you actually have a bunch of people that are about different organizations that have had like criminal complaints and things that have to do with children and inappropriate behavior. So there's a scourge going on over there. Some people think it's connected to cartels, but it's always covered up.
I think the
always
cartels,
covered up.
When there's more addiction in a community, there's more behavior like that because people are only thinking of their own gratification when they're an addict. You don't have compassion. You don't think from the point of view of your victim. It's just not there. And that's what's becoming normalized too, is that addictive mindset is okay. It's okay to just, hurt people and destroy yourself also. That idea of, suicide is fine, and or gang shootings, or all this stuff is okay. It's okay.
Yeah, and the people who are organizing the rally have already gotten in touch with all the local officials and officers. It's nonviolent. They already have a security detail. And this is one Latino girl, and this is, people always like to divide people by race, or they think, well, this community doesn't care about this community. It doesn't matter. These are children.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the race. It doesn't matter like the largest group in that area. It doesn't matter if some of the people there don't speak English. What matters is that they came out to speak on it, and now they've been told by all those investigating it that it was mutual. And they won't show her the video, which actually shows the little girl not wanting to and being forced, right? And then that's not consensual. So it's and no one even knows if the school's even handed it over to the proper authorities. So sign up for the peaceful rally. We're excited to announce that the official sign up for our upcoming rally on May 18th is now available on our website, www.nbs.com. To access the sign up, simply click on the flyer for our current operation, #hidden in plain view. Let's come together and show our support for the family of the 6-year-old girl who was tragically assaulted at Plainview South Elementary. Join us for a peaceful rally on May 18th at 6 p.m. at Plainview, Texas Educational Complex. Arrive at 5 p.m., located at 2417 Yonkers Street, Plainview, Texas. We suggest booking accommodations in North Lubbock, which is approximately 1 hour drive from the rally location. Let's make our voices heard and show that we will not be silenced in our call for justice. So I think the most important thing is to remember, when all of your leadership and people who are elected encourage citizens to stand up and to push back when they don't agree with something, to let their voices be heard, then they need to remember that when people go out to let their voices be heard, and not just let it be a tagline or something they say is part of our Constitution. And then when you try to do it, they allow corruption and small town politics to actually overshadow the voice of the constituents, in which they encourage to stand up and say, if you're going to save this country, it's going to take all of us. Not when we're censored, not when we're pushed back, not when we're told to be quiet, not when we're told they're handling something that's not being handled. Like, how long have we been hearing that it's safe to go to school? You go to carpool and you say, have a great day, in the expectation that your child is going to be safe. Oh, and here's a little baby, sweet baby.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and give what I think would be Harry the Greek's take on this story. Okay. Andy, I'm still not finding it even on, well, okay, I did find your video with Amber the other night.
I mean, I do go through the official report at the end. I don't know how much more time we can buy here, Ms. Wilkins. They're running about half hour slow right now. I don't know if there's, that one gentleman I spoke to outside was the event organizer, but I don't know if there's like an actual like, if we're gonna get going here type ordeal.
I'll eat my iPhone if one of the teachers shows up.
Oh,
If
the superintendent shows up, I'll eat my iPhone too.
Well, let me play a little
You think
bit
they
of,
would? You think if you cared about your community, you would show up to this, correct, Mr. Wilkins?
right. And especially if you're one of the teachers who's being accused, you want to defend yourself, right?
Oh, there should be a whole like section of like teachers only and administrative people only that are like here in support of the girl also. It'd be kind of unfortunate if there wasn't any of that support going on.
Well, with your permission, I'm going to play a short clip from I'd like to play a short clip of you and Amber.
Live with Andy.
Live with Andy.
Most original title of all time.
Okay, here we go.
Go follow me on Twitter also at Life with Andy on Twitter. Give me a little love over there.
Okay.
Don't judge me for the cowboy hat either.
One of these. What we really
It's
want
a
are
show hat
adults
only.
who are watching the classroom and noticing kids under a desk. Number one, noticing that there's a little boy revealing himself, and then they go and talk to him and bring his parents in, and then understood stop, or he'll be separated and be put into a class by himself if he cannot, deal with that, because you cannot expel or suspend or get of a child under, I think, the age of 10. But there were plenty of things they could have done, and informed parents, so parents could warn their children to go and tell an adult if one of these kids started to approach them about something, or if somebody wanted to touch them, or what, to go and please find an adult, right? And then the adults could address it. But they were trying to just hide it and minimize it, like it wasn't a big deal. But it had psychologically affected this little girl, as it would anybody.
Yeah.
And so these boys seem to think that it's normal. So they've either been victimized or they've had access to things that they shouldn't have.
I guess
You
as
guys
they've
get
been
paid by the hour
victimized,
or salary?
that's usually where it comes from.
Sorry,
and
I just
maybe the
made that joke to the
victimizers
police officer next
didn't
to me.
want this stuff coming out, and that's why, like, ultimately it would lead to that, like the, hey, I'm a predator, and so it's like they're trying to keep it, like you're saying, in-house, and they're trying to cover it up. It is a sad state of affairs, and so there's a bunch of people I saw are flying into Lubbock, Texas, and they're going to be going to this rally on Thursday. Now, is there a town hall meeting, or is there something else involved with this rally? Is there like a court case coming up or pending in the future? How are they going to solve this?
So some are flying in and coming in on the 17th, which is Thursday, and then others are getting there on Friday, which is the 18th, the day of. And so what happened was, the first time they had like a protest, the family, the school acted like they were being victimized.
Hey, Mr. Wilkins.
And then the school.
Go ahead.
I might have an idea. I don't know if this thing is going to be starting here soon. I don't know if you want to end this and I can just record it and send it to you in post or something like that. But I don't.
That'd probably
we might be
tough,
standing. We might
because
be standing
then-
here another half hour.
Right, and plus there will be some parts might be redundant.
Never mind. The school board's coming out.
Okay, let me zoom in on you.
I didn't know this was like a school board meeting. I thought it was.
We'll see if you can get a little bit closer. Can you get any closer?
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, okay.
Do your headphone.
Okay.
Very disheartening. It has been confirmed that schools and district administrators abided by the instructions given to them by House Social Services and law enforcement, and followed all legal requirements well within the time frame as required by the state of Texas and the United States government. It was also confirmed that the teacher was abiding by the same structure of teachers across the district and state used to test students as required by the Texas Education Agency for the end of year reading proficiency when the unsettling situation occurred. The Plainview ISD Board of Trustees, along with the superintendent, have been deeply saddened by the situation and are very concerned for the children first and foremost, families, the ISD faculty, and the community. The board and superintendent understand one of the intensely felt concerns in this situation is communication. With such a serious circumstance, Plainview ISD administrators were responsible for keeping the situation confidential as directed by investigators and required by law to protect children and families involved until outcomes could be revealed. The board and superintendent appreciate our teachers who are dedicated to their students. We appreciate families and community members who recognize a need and are resolute in advocating for safety in every classroom for every student. The board and superintendent also recognize a need to tend to evolving challenges for our students, faculty, administrators, and community face. We are dedicated to the safety and well-being of every student. Moving forward, Plainview ISD, in collaboration with parents, community leaders, administrators, and board members, will review and modify school policies to make necessary changes. The Plainview ISD Board of Trustees and Superintendent send their deepest regrets to the parents and guardians of all the students involved in this incident. We remain steadfast to offer counseling and support to help families move forward.
At this time, we'll proceed on citizen comments. I will just remind you again that we will pull you out of this room if you are disrespectful, unruly. Okay. And we will not comment to any of your comments. No rude. This is what's going to happen. The board is going to allow, there were 5 that have signed up. You have 1 minute to speak for all the people that signed up. In the case that the name of a student is mentioned, the name of a teacher is mentioned, the name of an administrator is mentioned, you will be removed and not allowed to come back in. At this time, I am going to continue. We're going to proceed with the rules also. Each participant will have 1 minute to speak. When necessary, in effective meeting, in large number like this, again, we only allow 1 minute. Our board secretary, officer secretary, Ms. Rivera, will keep time. When she mentions your time is up, please adjourn your comment. If you continue, you will be asked to be able to remove from the building as well. The board will allow everyone that signed up to speak unless you didn't fill out the full application or the full paper, which there was a few that didn't fill out all the information on here. This comment period to attend, we're here to present the complaints, and the board will not be able to respond to any, but we will take notifications on all this. So we will start with the first citizen comment.
Our first speaker is Lisa Medina.
Please state your name and your address.
My name is Elisa Medina. My address is 904 Lexington. I am Jaden's cousin. Thursday, April 27th. After school, Jaden explained to me, my dad, my mom, and my sister what had happened to her at school. She had explained to us that a little boy had told her to do something to him that she did not want to do. She hit him, she said no, and she resisted until she got tired. These are not signs of mutual consent. This teacher and the principal and are there to notify parents if there are any type of abuse or violence has happened against their child, right? Well, they did not tell my aunt until 9 days after. Make this make sense. We are all here to be a voice for all children. Thank you. Next speaker, James Fox.
My name is James Batza at 6711 North I-27. I'm disgusted by the inaction of this school district.
Yes.
Every person who knew about this incident and did not tell the parent ought not only to be fired, but charged with a crime. The fact that you all gave a smug statement is absolutely disgusting. The lies that are going forth from the media is disgusting. You all ought to be ashamed of yourself. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Lionel Garcia.
I'm Lionel Garcia, 18th Floor, West 18. I have a board question, really. In order to take proper action in the situation like the one we find ourselves here in the school district currently, the school board has the option to meet in emergency meeting by posting the meeting for at least 2 hours. But I have not found any postings. So my question is, how did Dr. Sanchez make the decisions that he took? And number 2, how much input did the school board have? Those are my 2 questions. Thank you.
Miguel Medina.
My name is Raquel Medina, 904 Lexington. I have followed chain of command and got nowhere. I've done what any good parent should do. Allegedly, April the 19th, they said that our student was recorded on the iPad. April 20, teacher reported the iPad. April the 21st, IT discovered it was an iPad. He saw who was on that iPad. All those 3 days, the parents were not called within the 24 hours. Thursday, April 26th, we went to pick up Jaden. She was fearful, she was scared. And then when we talked to the principal, she stated no answers for all questions that were asked. Friday 27th, we went to South Elementary, and the principal would not give answers. May the 1st, we protested. We demanded to speak to administration. They would not come out and address us until finally, a little bit before lunch, they addressed us. I spoke to assistant administration, superintendent, and the principal. No answer. According to them, they could not answer because.
I know y'all are not. If it was your kid, think about it. If it was your kid. It's her family. Let the public decide.
That was the mother.
I will remind again the public.
The mother, they're taking her away.
At this time, I
Yeah, what?
If we remove, you become outrageous again.
No accountability at all.
You will be the first out as well. Okay? Thank you.
Esther Zapata.
April 19th. This situation happened with my granddaughter. We were not informed until 9 days later. I do not see how. You heard my niece, you heard my sister. I do not see how this could be a sexual mutual consent between two children. Would not even know what that would be. The way the situation was handled was inappropriate, wrong, disgusting. And you, sir, you know who you are. I'm not going to mention names. Misinformation from the beginning until the end. It was wrong. But you can get away with it because y'all can talk among yourselves. Even a Christian that's on the board can get away with it. They know what's wrong. I can hide it.
Time's up, ma'am.
It was wrong from the beginning.
Thank you.
You would be fighting if it was any of one of your kids, any one of them. But no, you're not fighting because it's not your child. It's not your child.
Rodriguez, 2607 Mesa Drive. I spoke up here months ago questioning our district in regard to leadership and communication. It seems nothing was done. Our community is now being highlighted for an event that should have never transpired. Regardless of the incident itself, I am disappointed in how the administration continues to show a lack of communication or care. Statements prior to minutes ago have previously been put out that show zero compassion, but were written in a manner to merely protect the district's own agenda. With many, and now we're curious if our current board members will show action to make changes. This board is supposed to represent the people of our community, but why do so many continue to feel misrepresented and unheard? I, amongst many, are calling for change, and not the speaking of change, but actual actions. Lastly, I want to remind everyone speaking out should not cause for division. I can provide criticism while still supporting our schools, staff, and students. And students the best resources and support to those who are with them daily, our teachers. We can no longer turn our heads from red flags or ignore the many issues at hand. The bare minimum is not enough. Passing on accountability will no longer be accepted. Aaron Evanson Lass. Aaron Evanson Lass, my address is 7920
Get closer to the microphone, please.
Can you hear me now? I'm just wanting to say that I feel sorely disappointed that the district's response in the press release did not refute CPS explanation of mutual sexual behavior and description of briefs. Because this video did not show the victim demonstrate any struggle, but that does not indicate consent. Children under the age of 17 in the state cannot give consent. Please ask them to please call them what they are and not mutual sexual behavior.
Soraya Castillo.
My name is Saraya Castillo, 612 West 28th. It's not Saraya. Today, my daughter came home saying school had canceled all trials for the safety of our children. I'm thinking, for the safety of our children? I find it hard to believe. Or is it a facade to remove all eyes from the superintendent and the school board, as we see it, that has approached the situations in our school poorly? I am asking the school board and superintendent, as a concerned parent, stop putting fear in our children and start doing your job and face matters that occur in the classroom with a teacher be present. You hide behind the safety of your four walls and a title, a desk, while you have failed to protect our children and continue to put fear in our children's lives. My last thing is how, first of all, like the one someone else said, shame on y'all for handling this. Each and every one of y'all have children and have grandkids. And y'all sit back there, y'all smirk. Yeah. And y'all fail to remember that y'all's kids were once little.
Ma'am, your time's up. Nadine Rodriguez. Nadine Rodriguez, 3901 Stevens Street. First off, there's been a lack of justice and transparency in this district. Refusing to protect students after they report sexual violence is a violation of federal law. Refusing to act re-traumatizes and humiliates survivors who at the same time are being denied care and support that they need to heal and to learn. The statement that you sent out yesterday has a focus on outside electronics, yet the incident was reported on a school-issued device. Yep. This happened inside the classroom with the teacher present. They were not seen, not heard, or attended during this. 34 seconds. Are there too many kids in class? Are there not enough aides? No one knew this took place, yet it was with a password-protected device. How is that possible? How is a 6-year-old able to put a password on a device? Or is that school policy that you give password-protected devices? Words without actions are nothing more than manipulation. We are tired of your words, and action is well overdue. It's time to protect all these children because they will be heard. Heather Gonzalez. Heather Gonzalez Silver, address 219 Southeast 8th Street. You, the board, should all be ashamed. It's time to make a change today. We are addressing you, the board, and you, the superintendent. No accountability has been taken. It is far past the time that we let weak men like you be the protectors of our children. Your son will be handled differently, and I guarantee if it was your children, y'all control him. So if y'all control him, then this is y'all's fault too. The fact that he's doing it is y'all's fault too. There has been no accountability. I've had so many people sign a petition, and he is still here. And I have heard rumblings that you guys are going to keep him. Why? For what?
Shows are guilty.
And the assistant superintendent that if we have statements to bring them, and I have statements, what are you going to do with these? Because this was not just my cousin that this happened to. There are several kids that this has happened to. And I hold all of them accountable. This is not fair. That is a long time. You hold your breath for 34 seconds and see how long that is. Y'all did not show what led up to that video. I continue to see. You show what led up to that video. Do not put your hands on her.
Don't do it.
You guys.
This is her family. Don't do it, guys.
Don't touch me. Don't.
How about Tucson and Odessa?
One more time, Abby, you will be out of this facility.
What? If I know the information.
I'm smarter than y'all. She's sitting down.
Are these your keys?
Oh, yeah.
No,
Okay.
Landon Keating.
Know all that, buddy?
Starting to get intense here. Everyone's getting riled up. 3 people been booted so far. One's probably going to get arrested.
I'm at 2619 West 20th.
These are 6-year-olds.
I've sat back and listened a lot over the last few weeks, and now it's my turn to talk. My name is Landon Huey, and I have a daughter who's a first grader at South Elementary. The way that this incident at South Elementary has grown out of proportion is not only embarrassing, but dangerous. It is unfair and inappropriate to make heinous allegations on social media, especially while an investigation is already ongoing. But in a world where the facts can be boring, sensationalism sells. Fake news and misinformation spreads fast, and it spreads even faster when one party is unable to comment due to an ongoing investigation. To the angry parents, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't understand where you're going. We all care about our children's safety and well-being at school, but what's next? Sure, we can make personnel changes, but that's not a real solution because the root of this issue extends well beyond our schools. I know this. I trust that my child, that my first grade daughter who attends South Elementary, is safe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So because your child is safe, that's okay, that hers wasn't? That's all right.
At this time, we have completed our public comment, so continue with our business items.
First business item is consideration of approval of the annual tech certification. It's a TA requirement for annual certification. Their instructional materials abide by all of the.
I believe that's the end of the. They're not allowing public comments anymore. It's getting a little too rowdy. So they're getting down to official business now.
Or any questions concerning this business item?
I think it's over. We're just doing official business now.
Yeah, her husband's a drug dealer. Just in case you guys know that.
Any more questions?
Jesus.
At this moment, I entertain a motion to consider the approval of the annual.
Trues are flying now. Neighborhood trues are flying.
Motion to approve.
Let's see.
We got a motion, we get a second. Motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
John. Yeah. I believe it's over now. They're just doing official business.
Okay.
They ended the meeting.
All right. Are you gonna leave the room?
Yeah, just end this. Do a little thing and end the stream.
Okay. All right, everybody. You saw it with your own eyes. They had 3 people booted out of the 6 or 7 that got a chance to speak before they cut off the possibility to let all parents say their piece. This was, I'm very discouraged watching this. I don't know about you, but it looked like none of the school officials or their higher ups would suffer any consequences. It looks like none of them are going to suffer any consequences, but yet you and your spouse have to deal with the consequences if your child gets experiences something similar in their classroom or even outside of school, but on school grounds. It is unacceptable to me. It is unacceptable to me as a parent that this situation could get this bad and that nobody is being held to account. Nobody is going to really suffer as a result of their unexplainable and probably illegal behavior in handling this situation. As I said before, I encourage everyone to keep tabs on the Twitter accounts listed in the description of this video and to get involved in your local community. You with the documents from this case in hand, And with the video, this video, the recording of the school board meeting, and other related videos in hand, ask your elected officials, ask your school board officials, where do they stand? And bring into the picture World Economic Forum, ICLEI, United Nations, and their related organization, the C40, the Strong Cities Group. Force them to tell you that they respond to a higher power. That's why they cannot take appropriate action for people like the teachers involved in this situation. Anyway, we're going to end the broadcast here. I'm going to do a follow-up broadcast on Saturday night. I encourage everybody to get involved, to watch the second and third parts of this series, and also to please watch my my appeal for Julian Assange, because I think Julian Assange revealed something very important that may help us in this situation. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Protecting the Nest, episode 38.